Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Anthology Q&A. Get ready because I am taking you behind the scenes of what this entire process looks like. I got so many questions over the last several weeks, and I'm going to answer them all here. If you have not seen the previous video that I did, I'm going to be dropping the link. If you hear a vacuum, Penny pees on the rug. Like she's 8 years old and still pees on our rug. So we have to get the rugs cleaned. And of course, I'm like, oh yeah, 2 o'clock is fine. Totally forgot that I scheduled that. So if you hear a little bit of noise, that's what that is. So I'm just getting pulled up here, getting my audio ready. I am so excited to have you here. If you are watching the replay, you can just follow along and feel free to comment as if you have questions or insights or different things that come up. But first, before I even start, I want to just say happy birthday to one of our authors in Expanding Your Brilliance. So this was my sixth book, Dr. Melissa Smith. Today's her birthday. And she really came into this project and was all in. Came to every coaching call, implemented. She did the author to authority package, and I actually referred her a speaking engagement with Florida Pharmacy Association. And after that, she had so many connections and so many just incredible opportunities that came her way. And honestly, that is because she said yes to this opportunity. And I'm going to share a little bit more. I mean, I could go on and on with the stories of how incredible all of these women are, all 14 in this book. And then actually my other anthology, which I don't know if you guys know about, there were 19 women in this. So moving beyond the counter, I told somebody today at the nail place, I'm like, I will keep birthing books. I cannot have another baby. So I love my Lindsay, but yeah, it's a lot for those of you who have kids. Okay, so let's get started. And I'm just going to frame out what we're going to be talking about. Again, if you're watching the replay, cool. If you're live with me, feel free to interact. But what I want to give you is a context of how authoring a book can really skyrocket your business growth. And I'm going to be sharing a little bit of the behind the scenes, the juicy details. I'm spilling the tea, spilling the coffee. I have coffee over here, of what it looks like to publish with me, because there are a lot of anthologies, but I do it differently. And I'm going to share a little bit about why and what that process looks like. I'll be answering your questions. So just literally type it in the chat if you have anything that you're like, hey, I'm curious about this. I am an open book. I will answer whatever. I'm also going to be sharing about the type of authors I'm looking for, because we don't just accept anybody. We want people who are really passionate about making a difference in sharing your story, sharing your voice, your heart. Writing your story can be very cathartic. It can be scary, and I hold you every step of the way. It can be thrilling and exciting too. And there's a level of visibility that comes with authoring a book. And I think that's why a lot of people say that they want to write a book. And I'm going to read a statistic to you here, but very few people actually do, because it takes a certain level of capacity to be able to hold that level of visibility. And especially this book that we're going to be publishing, I know I'm getting my TED Talk, and that is going to be the next step. So this book is going to be positioned on my website as the next step once somebody watches that TED Talk. So this book is literally going to reach thousands, potentially millions of people. So I'm really excited about it. This is not just a book, it's a movement. I'm really looking for healers who have been through a transformative experience. Maybe you've been through a health crisis or trauma or burnout or medical trauma, whatever it is that you have, you went from a rock bottom moment to becoming a radiant spark, inspiring other people. And that's really who I'm looking for here. So again, we've had a lot of people apply, and these spots are highly coveted because, again, I'm looking for a very specific person. And we want people that are going to hit deadlines. And we also want people that play nice in the sandbox. So you work well with others, and that's all on the application. So I'm going to actually drop the application link here in the comments so you can take a peek at that after the call, because I want you here focused with me. And here's what I'm doing. I reward action takers. So if you are like, yes, this is for me, after you watch this live and something in you is feeling pulled to this experience, go ahead and apply. Hi, I see Sarah. Nice to see you here. Yay. So if you apply within 24 hours of this Facebook Live, of me coming live, so right now it's 2 Eastern on, what's today, Monday. So if you apply within 24 hours, I will literally gift you my Author to Authority workshop replay. So that's normally a $200 investment. I'm just going to send it to you. And this is gold, let me tell you. So it I show you in this 90-minute workshop that you can have lifetime access to how to move from author to authority, how to grow your business, how to get paid speaking engagements, like the whole thing. So I will gift that to you. Fast action bonus for people that take action, right? Okay. So I think I said happy birthday to Melissa Smith, but if not, I'll say it again. That was on my notes here. I wanted to make sure that I had that because yeah, like so many of the authors here have gone on to write their own books because once you go through the process, it's like, oh, okay, now I know how to write my book. And just a quick story with me, I actually wrote my first book in Bali and I had coaching from top Hay House authors. I took a 6-week course with a New York Times bestselling author. I invested $22,000. I had the idea from when I was 18. I didn't actually publish my book until I was 26. So it took 8 years. And lots of times people will say they want to write a book, but then never do it. So I'm going to ask you this question. I have the statistic right here. So whoever's watching with me, just write it in the chat. Okay. So first of all, how many of you have ever said, I want to write a book? I'm just curious. So whoever's watching, comment, me, I've said I want to write a book. I want to see. And I want you to guess the percentage of people that say they want to write a book. So say there's like 100% of people. How many people actually write the book? What percentage? I want to hear from you. So I'm going to give you a quick pause here to think about it. So how many people actually do the damn thing and write the book? And there's no right or wrong here, so just guess. Okay. I know a lot of people are busy on Mondays too, so I'm sure you guys will watch the replay. So only 1%. 1% of people who say they want to write a book will ever publish. And that is why joining an anthology like this streamlines the process. It shaves off years of you having to figure out everything yourself or fronting the costs for the cover, the publishing, the editing, all of those things. So just think about that. Only 1% of people that say they want to write a book will ever do it. So if you want to change that odd, those statistics and be the 1%, this is what we're talking about here. Because I know that you are drawn to this experience. You're watching this video for a reason because you want to make an impact. You want to grow your business. You want to attract new clients, paid speaking opportunities. Having a book in your hand saying, hey, I wrote a chapter in this book. Here I am, Kate Cozart. Kate's also going to be in this next book, the Becoming Fully Powered from Rock Bottom to Radiant Spark. She is one of our authors. There's nothing like this. When you get this from Amazon, when you order the book, when you hold it in your hands, when your kids can see it. I know Erin Thompson did the last anthology. She had pictures of her daughter holding up the book. Tara Davis had her son saying, we're going to mommy's book signing. You know, there's nothing like that. So yes, it's a one-time investment in yourself, but there are so many other ripple effects that come from this experience. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about that today, later on. So I've gotten so many questions, like I said, and I wanted to come on and just answer them because that way I could just say, hey, go watch the video. I've answered that question. And I know a lot of people that have anthologies, and I'm not saying that what they're doing is not great, because it is, but I want to share how my anthologies are a lot a bit different and how we get everything done so quickly. So you come into this experience and within 2 months, we're done. We're hitting publish. So I'll tell you how. My team and I hold you every step of the way, from the time that you hit pay, from the time that you come to the book signing and you experience all of this, and you get to meet everybody in person because you've been through this amazing experience of writing a book together. We hold you every step of the way, because like I said, it's not just about writing the chapter. It's like, and hitting the deadlines and all of that. It's like, I'm unearthing some really emotional things. And so as a healer, as a transformation business coach, this is how I help you. And I know, because I've written 6 of these before, I know how to expedite the process. I know how to hold large groups of people, even though it's, a big group project, to make sure that my team knows, if something's coming up, bring it to the coaching call, ask in the Facebook group. You've got plenty of support. And I want to normalize, like, if you have fears about this and you're like, ooh, but like, I have to be vulnerable and share something, like, that's all so normal. And that's why having somebody with you, guiding you, stretching you, not just writing the pretty stuff, to write the raw and real, that's what's going to connect to your ideal client. So I am in your corner every step of the way. I don't just give you and say, hey, push you off a ledge and be like, all right, good luck, have fun writing. I give you certain prompts, and the prompts are already written out. I have a neat manual. Like, that's the pharmacist brain. You literally get a manual with, here's the deadlines, here's how you ask us questions. Like, literally everything you could ever ask is in this manual that you get. It's a PDF, it's in a Dropbox folder. Everything is very seamless. Even when you go to submit your chapter, there is one link, one simple link. You put your headshot in, you put your bio in, you answer all of those questions, and I give you prompts for each question. So as an example, if I'm like, hey, I want you to write about your rock bottom moment, I'm not just going to say that. I'm going to ask, in the manual, you'll see, and we're going to go over this in our coaching calls. So that is what you're investing in, is coaching, it's support, it's guidance, it's my team, making sure that you feel rock solid every step of the way. It's the book signing, publishing, all of that. But instead of paying $20,000 like I did, it's like nothing compared to that. So I talked about the process of submitting, taking the guesswork out of everything. So like I said, collapsing time, right? Like, instead of you trying to do this yourself and being like, I'm going to write a book someday, I'm going to write a book someday, like, come in and we will write it in 2 months, and you will be amazed how the words just start pouring out of you. Because so many of us, I think, have different blocks around perfectionism and people pleasing, or like, I can't share this because it's going to offend this person, or how do I not get stuck in that nervous system freeze response where, like, I'm staring at this page and I don't know what to write. Again, because I do this work and I help people with that, business owners with transformation and nervous system regulation, I help you with all of that. So everything is going to start to flow and the words are just going to pour out of you, I promise. Okay, so who I'm looking for: healers who have hit rock bottom. You've had a health transformation, burnout, medical trauma, something that shook you to your core, that was like, I can't go on living this way, something needs to change. There was a transformation, and now you help other people, whether it's through coaching or PGX testing or whatever that is. That's who we're looking for. And I want people who are passionate, who are dedicated, who will hit deadlines. We need that. And who are friendly and respectful, right? Because you're interacting with my team and I here. So we definitely, like I said, we've gotten a lot of applications, and we've had to say no to a lot of them because it just wasn't in alignment. So your next step is to go ahead and fill out the application, which is in the comments. Done for you support. So like I said before, you don't have to figure everything out yourself. You don't have to spend years being like, oh, what do I do? What's the next step? Like, nope, it's literally done for you. All you have to do is write your chapter, and we'll take care of the rest. It gets to be easy. And we will become best-selling authors, because I know how to promote, and all of us are going to amplify the reach. Okay, so ask questions, write it in the comments. Literally, this is informal. I want you to feel comfortable asking anything. Really, there's no question too small. So I'm going to go here and answer some of the questions that I got from people. A lot of people have been DMing me, and thank you for that. I'm sure if you have a question, someone else has the question. Okay, so what is the process like? You're going to have guidance every step of the way. So again, you're going to have a manual with exactly when the deadlines are, when the coaching calls are. There will be replays. There's plenty of support. I will do whatever I have to make sure that I am drawing out with you your brilliance so that you shine in these pages. So people are always asking about the logistics of like the form and all of that. So again, you have one link that you'll submit your answers to all these questions, and then we make it look, my editor and I make it look nice and neat, or I should say my editor. She's the one doing it. But it will, you'll have a nice picture. You'll have that, a little bio. You'll have a link that you can put in, because we also do publish an ebook version, the paperback version, and then we have an audiobook version. And it's going to be broken down like this. So everything flows. It's nice and neat. Easy peasy. That's how, once you have a process, like it's easier to do them over and over again. Okay, the book signing is like a huge party. Kate Cozart will tell you this. Because I really want you to feel like royalty. I want you to be celebrated. This is a huge milestone moment for everybody. And it's cool because again, you've gone through this process with everyone on the coaching calls, and now you get to meet in person and celebrate. So there's really no feeling like receiving this from Amazon or standing up at the book signing with a microphone in your hand and talking about your business and getting pictures and sharing and really celebrating all of the hard work. So, as far as like the editing part, I'm just reading my notes. So that's the book signing. The editing, my editor Corey takes care of that. It's all streamlined. There's 2 rounds of edits, and we make sure that it's exactly the way that you want it. Okay, so another question I got, which is very real, what are the biggest fears like first time authors have? And I think it's probably having your family read it or people that you know, which I can really relate to because my first book, I actually wrote about my eating disorder and the abuse that I had experienced in childhood. And I was really afraid that when my parents read this, that they would feel whatever. And fear is normal. But then I think of that girl on the subway. If you guys saw that post that I had written recently, I had pictured in my mind this girl on a New York City subway. I lived in Brooklyn at the time. And I just pictured her opening my book and her crying on the subway, just tears of like, oh my God, someone gets me. And so I went there. I went to those deep places. I shared things that I really had never shared publicly before, and it was so healing and it was so cathartic, and I became someone on that journey. And so this is not just about becoming a best-selling author and the business side of it and getting more clients. Like that's great too, but it's a becoming, and it's who you become along the way, because you're going to heal. You're going to shed the shame. You're going to be vulnerable. You're going to be able to connect with people, because people don't connect with perfection. I know so many of us try to show up polished and like that's the highlight reel and all of that, but people really want to see, how did you struggle? What did you do? What was the messy middle? And then how did you come out? And now you're a radiant spark for other people. So I'm going to lean in with you and say, go to the messy parts, because that's raw and that's real for people to latch onto, to be like, oh, wow, now I have hope. Now I have something that I'm not only inspired by, but I know there are other people out there like just like me. So it's powerful to write your story. So that's a total normal fear, right? Like, oh my God, or like, what are my colleagues going to think, right? We think about all of that because we want to appear a certain way. And so that's part of our masks, right? The perfectly polished masks of this is how I need to be perceived. People are going to love you for who you are. And if they don't, they're not for you. And that's why, like, I just show up upon unapologetically, hate me, love me. This is who I am. And so you have to write what's true. And that's what I'm going to hold you to that. It's not about having everything perfect. So that was one of the questions, like the biggest fears. I think perfectionism, obviously, like I work with a lot of pharmacists, but high achievers in general, I think we have this fear of like, well, what if I put it out and there's a mistake? Like my team's going to take care of that. If there's grammar errors or whatever, like we're going to make sure you look amazing and really draw out your brilliance. Okay. Um, what's the most rewarding part? This is just like, these are some questions I came up with myself too, because I think it's important to share. What's the most rewarding part of being in an anthology? It's connection with other people. It's community. It's holding the book in your hands. And because it's an anthology and there's 14 other authors, first of all, you're networking with all these people effortlessly. So people have done collaborations and referrals and podcasts and all of that. But then you also you're reaching other people's audiences from one asset. This is an asset that will live on people's shelves. It's not like it's a business card that's like, oh, throw that out, right? It's like, no, this is a physical book that if people want to know more about you, this is like a lead magnet that is extremely valuable. So people are going to get to know you. They warm up. They want to buy your programs. They want to hear you speak. All of these things come from this little asset right here. And then the other thing that I got a question about is like, can being in this anthology attract new customers, new clients, collaborations? Yes, absolutely, all the above. And like I said, past anthology authors have gone on to speak at pharmacy schools, paid speaking engagements, writing their own books. I'm trying to think. I mean, there's so many examples. I could just keep going on and on. But yeah, the short answer is yes. And especially if you look at that author to authority replay, I show you exactly how to do that, how to turn being an author into being an authority in your space. Like this instant credibility right here, right? I'm just making sure I didn't forget anything. Okay. I think I answered all the questions. If anybody else has anything specific that you want me to go over, actually, I know, you know what, now that I'm thinking about it, somebody did have something and I want to make sure that I address it. And if I forgot, because I can't look back at Instagram right now, I'll just put it in the comments here. So she was asking about the investment, and I'm just going to be very straight, the New Yorker in me. So this is an investment. So what's included in all of this is you get the done for you support. You get the cover's already done. So the cover is done, the publishing costs, the editing, the coaching, the support from my team, the long-term visibility and credibility that comes from having something like this and being able to put this on LinkedIn, put it in your speaker kit, have this be everywhere, best-selling author. All of that is part of this. So there are so many ripple effects that come from this. And so this is a $1,200 investment. So there's also payment plans available. You know, if you use Klarna or Afterpay, you can, feel free to do that. But what I've seen is that the return on investment is like, it pales in comparison to the new clients, the connections, the podcast opportunities, the credibility, everything that you get. And then obviously, like I said, that the book signing is a huge part of it too, like meeting in person, connecting with other people, getting pictures with the book and your chapter. It's just priceless. So this is a very special experience. And like I said, this book in particular is going to be just monumental. It's a movement because there needs to be more healers who are stepping into their fully powered self. And I am doing my fully powered talk in a couple weeks. So you'll get to see a little bit of what that is. And I share about that in this new book as well. My part's already done. It's written because you guys know, like, people are like, oh, what'd you do this summer? Oh, I went to this spot. I'm like, oh, I wrote a book. I like trademarked my fully powered I did my signature talk. I planned a retreat, one-on-one programs, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm a huge nerd. But like, when you move and you get into momentum of, yes, this is for me, and you follow that soul nudge, that's how you get momentum. If you hesitate, if you're like, oh, I don't know, first of all, message me and I'll help you. If it's fear that's coming up for you, that's totally normal. But if you want to move and get momentum, you have to make that next step. So this is your invitation, because I'm a stand for your greatness. If you're watching this, to the end, that's a sign. You got to just trust yourself and know. There have been so many times that I have been in levels of uncertainty in my business, and I'm like, I don't know how this is going to work out. I don't know what this investment is going to lead to. And it always exponentially just blows my mind. And so this is your chance, because I'm not going to be doing another anthology for a while. I've already done 2 in the past 2 years. So I am inviting you to apply, to contribute your story. I want heart-centered people. I want people that are passionate. And you, yeah, if you're watching this and you're like, I have a question, and you're a little bit shy, you can just drop into my DMs. I'm happy to answer any questions. And yeah, thank you for being here with me. And I will see you on the next Facebook Live. All right, bye.